Salvete discipuli, this is help for your Latin studies in Henle First Year Latin, exercise number 225. In this exercise, we will be translating sentences from Latin into English and explaining the italicized forms of some of the words given. So let's take a look at number 1. It says, Silvae saepe in bello ab hostibus incenduntur. So the first thing I like to do is to start to identify the parts of speech of some of these Latin words that I recognize. This is very verbish here, so we'll mark our very last word as a verb. This looks like it's probably our subject noun. Silva, silvae is a first declension noun, and so that's also plural. So I'll write nominative plural here, just making notes. Saepe I know means often, so it's an adverb. We have a preposition here, and depending on whether that object of the preposition is ablative or accusative will help us understand how to translate the meaning of this preposition in. In the ablative form, that preposition in would have a stationary meaning. And if the object of the preposition is in the accusative form, then it would have this sense of motion, like into or onto, movement. But so here's our object of the prep. And this O ending, this is a word for war from our second declension neuter noun bellum, belly. And if I think through the endings, o, this is an ablative. So I'm just going to write that, ablative, and it's singular. Okay, I'll put these in parentheses just to separate them out. Okay, then we have this word ab, another preposition meaning by, followed by a noun in the ablative form. And so this is our ablative of agent, right? Whenever we have an ablative of agent, a living agent with this word by, we would see it partnered with this word for by, or ab. So this is ablative, and hostis is a third declension noun. Various is ems, so this is not a singular ending. Ace ibis, ace ibis, there it is. It's a plural ending of the third declension. And then let's talk about some of the features of this verb, incenduntur. The unter tells me that this is in passive voice. It's third person plural, the nt. Incendo is a third conjugation noun. So I have my grammar book open here to see where I might find the the unter. And here it is in present tense. So it's also a present tense verb. Okay, so we have a passive voice, third person, plural, present tense verb here, which must agree with the subject, so in number. And so there it is, plural. Okay, so with all of that in mind, let's go ahead and translate these words and put them into a comprehensible structure in English. So we'll start with the subject. Actually, what I might do is, I'm looking at these. We have forest, we have often, we have in war. In English, it would sound kind of awkward to say forests often in war. But I would say we could start with a prepositional phrase, right? We could put that at the beginning. So we could say like, in war, forests, and then let's look at our verb, because in English we would go subject verb, right? Forests are burned often, or often, forests are often burned, right? Or actually, since it's passive voice, being burned, right? Forests are often being burned. And then by who or what? By the enemy. And in English, that looks singular. But remember that in Latin, often this word will be in the plural form because it's talking about the group of bad people, right? The group of enemies. So in English, we would say by the enemy, meaning plural, this group. So our final English sentence would read, in war, forests are often being burned by the enemy. I hope this has been helpful to you. Have a great day.